As a chronic illness warrior, you may resonate to this. Growing up, I was somebody who was intuitive and also somebody who you could refer to as absorbed other people's emotions, like an emotional sponge. Let's say, for example, if somebody was sharing their personal experience, which was challenging, it would almost feel as though I was absorbing all of their energy and I felt it intensely within me, especially if it was something that was deeply concerning. And then the other part is sensitivity to environments, whether it's crowded spaces or feeling some sense of overwhelm after being in heightened situations. And then this sense of deep intuition, being able to sense things and have a strong sense of empathy. The reason why I'm sharing this is that this then also transpires to when you're living with a chronic illness, these senses then become more amplified. And from my experience, what I did initially experience, especially when I had severe chronic symptoms, was that when I was listening or being there for other people, then my symptoms would amplify even more, such as chronic pain, fatigue, and then sensory activity, especially if I'd been like in crowded spaces. And so, what I discovered that helped me to minimize this was that I recognized that it was okay to take a step back, to also allow myself the space to start healing and minimizing the new symptoms that I was feeling because of the intensity of those experiences. Mind you, I don't mind helping people, but it was just in that circumstance, everything became more than amplified. And when I was younger, I wasn't fairly aware that this was my makeup, my nature, that I absorbed people's emotions or I felt this deep connection to people. But then as I grew older, I used it as a mechanism to also be supportive, attentive, and to listen to others. But when you have a chronic illness, it makes it harder to be able to, just based on like what I've been experiencing in the past, it makes it harder to manage the two. So it's okay to take a step back, to also allow yourself the space to minimize those symptoms from amplifying 10 times or 100 times much more than you want to. And the reason why you may find me most of the times talking about topics on optimistic outlook or things that seem as they're more educational, it's because I've done that intentionally to trick my mind to focus on other things, just in terms of what's called neuroplasticity, is to think about rewiring my brain to think of what's good so that the sensory activity within my body is not amplified often. Because the thing that I don't want to happen is to ever experience what I experienced in the beginning, which was severe, debilitating symptoms that left me bedbound for several years. So now it may seem like, oh, this has been like an easy step to reach this goal. No, it hasn't been. It's not about perfecting what you're doing right now in terms of how you experience life or things that may happen that impact you, but it's more about being mindful in certain situations. When people bring on matters to you, are you ready to consume that information? Or do you need to take a step back? So things I am mindful of is I don't immediately respond to, let's say, WhatsApp messages, instantaneous messages, or email communication. I give myself the time because I want to be I want my energy to be aligned with how I am feeling as much as possible. And then I also focus on the positive outlook, not to say that I neglect that I am suffering, but it's recognizing that I am suffering, but there's something else beyond that that I can focus, because with suffering, the more you focus on it, the more severe it becomes, and I don't want that to happen. I want the opposite to happen. So it's more about training your mind to focus on things that will make you feel good and ease that responsibility of being somebody who's of an empathetic nature, of being supportive, of always being there, of always like rescuing and attentive to other people's needs. It's also about taking a stopgap and saying, I need to take care of me and be present and centered to everything. And I don't know why the word earthquake came into my mind, but the turbulence that's going on in my body, so that I have a balance, continue to be an empath, but in a manageable level, while still being able to manage my chronic illness. And if this has resonated with you, there's nothing about perfection here. It's all about learning and growth. Do let me know how you manage dealing with being an empathetic person. What support systems have you put in place for yourself, or what do you find yourself always falling into and then thinking, I wish I hadn't done that. I should have taken a step back. And do feel free to connect, and always remember, you are not alone.